Hey everybody, it's Steve Owens, one of the tournament directors with the Georgia Bass Nation Kayak Series, and this is your angler briefing for event number 3 of 2023 on Lake Lanier. This weekend we're hosted out of the Atlanta Kayak Company. I'll get you that address in just a moment. We have a check-in that's going to be there along with awards, and again in Georgia Bass Nation, check-in is not mandatory in person, but we do encourage it because that's where you get to patron all of the prizes that we get from our good sponsors and everything. And we'll go through just a brief list of some of those in a little bit. This weekend fishing with us will be the Peach State Kayak Anglers. Something we did last year and will continue to do in the future is we partner with local clubs at about every event that we can if there's one in the area. You know, Georgia has Georgia Kayak Fishing League, Peach State Kayak Anglers, real crazy. There's a Chattahoochee Kayak Anglers. If I've left anyone out, then I'm just unfamiliar with that club. And so on Lake Hartwell, we just capped that off a few weekends ago. We fished alongside the Bassmaster Kayak Series. Had 120 anglers in that event, and again, that was our recruiting event for the season, and it went really, really well. I'm gonna pull those standings up real quick and just give a couple of people a shout out. So the winner of that one. Fortunately for some, unfortunately for him, Steve Hugh, he didn't get to fish day 2 because his little boy's birthday party, which obviously he should have chose that to go back home and get that started and everything. But again, we appreciate all the good anglers that fish with us every event, week, tournament and tournament out. So I'll just go over. Yeah, Steve had 102 inches of fish, and then Andy Middleton was third with 97 inches. Andy went on to finish in 4th place in the Bassmaster Kayak Series and got his ticket to the Bassmaster Championship. We had quite a few anglers from Georgia make that as well this year, and how they got there was from our state championship. So encourage all of you to participate so that you can get your spot in our state championship. We were able to award 13 people from that. If you're new and just watching this on YouTube and you're on the outside of kayak fishing right now and you're looking to get into it, reach out to myself or Daniel Davis or just any of the Facebook groups that you can find in Georgia, and any one of them will help you get in touch with who's in your area if you're not in theirs at the moment. And then from there, we'll hopefully get you into Georgia Bass Nation. We're going to start branching out a little bit, start bringing in some of the colleges to fish with us that have kayak people as well as high school. But getting back to that Hartwell event, there were a lot of good fish caught. Had 627 fish caught with 120 anglers. Bennett Nall from South Carolina, one of the Queen City kayak anglers, they fished alongside of us as well. And then Tom Kazmierski finished 4th. Overall, in the Bassmaster Series, he finished 3rd for the day and got his spot. And then 5th place was Lowell Brannon with 92 inches, and he ended up winning that Bassmaster Kayak Series event. Got to take home that awesome blue trophy made by Catch Outdoors, which is one of our good sponsors. You all get to take home a small trophy from them every week or every weekend that we fish together. So also, keep in mind after this event, we will be able to get the Angler of the Year standings updated properly. With Georgia and the South Carolina being a recruiting event, anglers didn't have to be a member of the Bass Nation. So I've been giving all those people a chance to be able to decide if they're going to join Georgia Bass Nation or what, and they'll be able to get their points for the event. So once that happens, we should have by the end of next week the Carl Black Chevrolet Angler of the Year standings updated. And again, last year Joseph Gayton took that home. He beat out Tom Kazmierski. I think Charles Shelnut was right there in the mix towards the end. There were just a few points separating all of them. But Joseph got to take home $1,000, and that's what's going to be on the line again this year. So that's your best 3 out of these 5 events this year. If we can get attendance to continue to trend upwards, we had 67, I believe, on Seminole. Hartwell was 120, as I just mentioned, which a large part of that was the fact that we fished with the South Carolina and North Carolina clubs. We're pretty light at this event right now. We're only at 27 anglers, which is surprising, especially as well as good as Lake Lanier fishes. So reach out to me if you got any questions about joining and getting in this weekend. Our last 2 events of the year, we're going to do the Three Rivers Throwdown, Flint, Okmulgee, and Elconey. around the Milledgeville area, and then we'll close out the season with the Lake St. Clair event. Part of that, we're going to be working with one of our good sponsors, Automation Customs out of Warner Robins. Look them up, give them a call if you have any questions, because what you see online as far as truck accessories and rigging, they offer a whole lot more than that. But if you want to call Shane or Hannah or someone at the shop down there, Trey is a huge help. I've ordered quite a bit of stuff from them over the years before we were actually partners with them. And they do a great job. They're very knowledgeable. It's not just tires, wheels, B&W trailer hitches, stuff like that. So they're going to be a large part of those last two events. So hopefully we'll get some good prizes to award to you all there and grow that relationship. Each tournament that we have this year, Old Town Fishing is stepped up in a grassroots initiative to push more than just the national level stuff. And with that, each event, an angler will be drawn at random to take home $250 cash, and then we'll have a $1,250 balance left over out of that money, which will be awarded at the state championship. I'll break that up and award that to 5 people, and then somebody's going to get to take home an Old Town Sportsman 120 PDL. So pretty excited about that. If it weren't for Atlanta Kayak Company and Dugout Bait and Tackle, I don't think we would have got that sponsorship, because Old Town, doing it the right way, is supporting dealerships that sell their product, and in an area such as large as the one that we have here in Georgia, they see that you all can make a return to those kayak shops. And so, as I mentioned, we're hosted out of Atlanta Kayak Company, and for those of you that are unfamiliar, that's a kayak store that was formerly the Oakwood Bait and Tackle Shop. You know, it's still there, same building, same address. So that's 5422 McEver Road in Oakwood, Georgia. Be there Saturday at 4:30. That's when we'll start everything. So we'll hopefully have a good crowd and a good turnout there. Again, just like last year, the top 15 anglers fishing from the event will get to fish the Georgia Bass Nation State Championship. It's going to be on Lake Seminole again. And then from there, 10% of that field, or our registered Bass Nation angler pool, 10% of that's the amount of spots we'll be able to award from that state championship. This is your official briefing. I'm about to go over some rules there. The rules are linked on the Attorney X event page, so pay attention to those and read them. Call us with any questions. Don't wait till the end of the tournament. If you see something going on, talk to one another. Don't watch someone do something and then want to call and report, or just do a vague question and then use that question to nail somebody or paint them in a corner. That's not what we're about. Reach out to them, communicate with them, and then they will probably make the call to me to address it. So just be above board and with good intentions, and above all else, good integrity in this series, because this is obviously hyper competitive. We fish for a lot of money and pride and awards, but you know, we want everybody to continue to fish with us. And it's not just myself or Daniel Davis that does this, it's you all. If it wasn't for you all as an angler doing the job that you do, doing really good with your fish picks and submissions, paying attention to the rules, but more importantly, helping one another out, that's what grows these tournament series. And so we don't want that kind of stuff in here. So your identifier will be released tomorrow. When you get that identifier code, you can write that on your hand. You can put it on an index card. Myself, I like to write it. I use a Catch Carbonate a lot of times. If you've got the blue Catch X board, I write those codes on the bump board and along the spine of the measuring device itself, and then I put it on an identifier card. So what happens is, if I lose my identifier card or there's a glare, then you can see my code along the spine of that bump board and the catch board. So it's just something I've done. It cleans off with sunscreen or a little bit of alcohol. So just that's something I do every tournament that helps me, because you know, things do happen on the water. This is an only catch board tournament series. Again, you can use the Catch Carbonate, you can use the aluminum Catch X board, or you can use the old traditional catch board. And you can get those at the Dugout Bait and Tackle and Atlanta Kayak Company. I usually have some carbonates with me for sale if you need some. Your identifier, as I mentioned, will be released tomorrow at 7 p.m. Your times for Saturday, again, we're fishing with the Peach State Kayak Anglers. Everything's going to be identical. You can launch at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lines in is at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Lines out is at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and your last fish submission is at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check-in is at 4:30 again at the Atlanta Kayak Company, formerly Oakwood Bait and Tackle, at 5422 McEver Road in Oakwood, Georgia. A little bit to do if you're new to this, your lines out is 3 p.m. You have until the 59 seconds of that 3 p.m. to get your fish picture taken. And then after that, you have half an hour to upload those fish. Plenty of cell service. If you don't have it, that's your responsibility to get off the water and get those fish uploaded. You can't wait until 3:25, 3:30 to contact me and say you can't get your fish uploaded. If you contact me in plenty of time throughout your day to let me know you're having problems getting your fish uploaded, I'll work with you to get those pictures. Oftentimes, a few examples I'll give. If you're having trouble, you're new to the tournament series or you're new to the app and you just can't get it. You're all fingertips and pinkies and you just can't get it done. I want you to continue to fish. So fish, get your pictures, and we will make certain that you get off the water in plenty of time to drive to me, and we'll get your fish uploaded. Sometimes that requires you to cut your fishing day short, but that's the trade-off for having to have that done for you sometimes. Other examples are, there's times when they just won't upload. I mean, these are telephones. Verizon could have a signal problem. T-Mobile could be a glitch somewhere on the internet, and that fish just won't take. And I've had it happen to myself. And so what'll happen then is, you contact me. I can have you email or text me that picture, and then I can manually update that. So, but you have to communicate to me throughout your day to do that. That's one of the dangers of sandbagging fish sometimes, which means holding them in your phone cache and not uploading them to TourneyX immediately. So lines out is at 3 p.m. and here you are, 25 minutes from the ramp and 40 minutes from check-in, and you're calling, scrambling, trying to get your fish uploaded. Well, that's not the tournament director's fault. That's your fault. You had all day long to check your fish, make sure you could get them uploaded. And if you're in a high traffic boat area, I understand. Catch your fish, get to the bank, try to get them uploaded, and you should be successful. And if you're not, call me. We will get it taken care of best that we can. But if you wait too long, then you're going to run out of options and you're going to be angry that I can't accept your fish, but that's going to be on you to do that. So I've educated, you in that process. Some other things that can happen are, you wait late to get your fish uploaded and your fish gets penalized. So give you another example. 11 a.m. rolls around, you've uploaded 3 fish. You've got a 22.5-inch, fish, and I look and the mouth is cracked, so we deduct half an inch for that fish having a cracked mouth. Well, when that happens, your fish gets accepted, edited to 22 inches, and you look on your phone, you get a notification that says fish accepted. Hey, that's great. You're good to go. Well, you turn and look when standings are turned back on or at awards, and you say, well, I had a 22.5. That's a 22-incher. Well, you're correct, but there was a deduction, a penalty there. And then you're going to want to resubmit a fish. Well, you can't do that. Tournament is over. You had from 11 a.m. when I accepted that fish and penalized it until lines or the fish submission time of 3:30 to check your stringer to do that. And what I'm getting to is it's important throughout your day to open up your app, click manage catch, and that lets you look at your stringer of fish. It tells you if they've been accepted. So when you pull that up now and you're looking for that 22.5, you're going to see it scored at 22 inches. Well, when you see that, your mind should say, hey, let me call Steve-O or Daniel and find out why this is not a 22.5-inch fish. Well, then when you call us, or typically we'll call you if there's a deduction. We're very good about that. We don't have to, but we feel like that helps you all enjoy your fishing experience, so we don't mind to do it. So when that happens, we'll let you know, hey, your fish has been penalized. 22.5 is now 22. So then we will tell you, if you call us, look in your pictures, see if you have a better picture, and then we will explain to you, manage catch, you hit delete, and then you back out, submit catch again, and upload that good picture of that 22 and a half. We'll then review it and score it one more time at 22 and a half, and now you have full credit. So what happened was you helped us do our job correctly. So we already did it correctly in that we judged your fish and penalized it and sent it back to you. And now your job is to check your own stringer and make sure that those fish are exactly what you think that they are. And if they're not, we'll talk about it and get it figured out. So there's plenty of time throughout your day to do that. We have plenty of breaks in fishing times. You know, if you're on a big bite, just keep it rolling. And when your bite dies off, you're going to have to take time to stop. It's unfortunate that you have to cut your fishing day short, but it's part of fishing. If you have a malfunction with a bait caster, you have to stop and fix it. This is actually more important than that. So I probably beat that to death a little bit here, but it's just something that's come up quite frequently over the last couple of years. And I'm not being smart or ugly, but it's because anglers are taking too long to call us to try to rectify situations that come up. You're not wrong in doing that. It's just something that you probably haven't thought of, because we have a lot of anglers that had no idea that you could click manage catch and look at your fish. I mean, you can literally just click the leaderboard. So something else I'll touch on real quick is don't upload your fish through the Google Chrome or your Siri or your Safari app or whatever it is on Apple. Use the app to submit your fish if you can. If you upload them through the web browser, so to speak, there can be some things that come up that are hard for us to tell. Number one, your fish pictures don't show up as clearly sometimes. So we just had an incident recently in the Bassmaster series on Lanier. I think it was Jeremy Meadows. To go back to the point I just beat to death a moment ago, Jeremy had a fish scored. I believe it was a 15 and a quarter. And we scored it a 15 and a half. Well, when we looked at it, it was a 15 and a half, or 15 inch, without a doubt. He sent me through messages the picture he actually took, and for whatever reason, that picture was extremely clear, and without a shadow of a doubt, that fish was a 15 and a quarter. So Jeremy did his job. He checked his fish and contacted us and said, "Hey, I disagree with what you did, and we'll look at it and we'll fix it." That's my job, is to get it right. And when I have a mishap, then you correct that. That's what we do. So there's people that can say, "Well, it's not our job to do this or this." Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's not our job, to make sure that you do everything correctly, and then you turn around and make sure we do everything correctly. That actually is all of our jobs, is what I meant to say. So judging fish, when you judge 1,000 or 1,500 fish at a time like that, things do get missed. Just like you all don't submit good pictures sometimes, so you don't get put on public blast for that. We just call you and do the best we can at getting some good pictures, and there's times when we just can't do that for you. So it is actually your job to check your stringer, and all you're doing is double checking the judge. The judge didn't screw you over. The judge didn't do anything that should have them vilified for. It just quite frankly happens. So if you're of the mindset that you're above communicating that, then possibly this may not be for you. So again, we always fix everything when we're reached out to on that. So get it back into the fishing rules of it all. Didn't mean to go that far on all of that, but again, it's something that literally can cost you a lot of money if you don't check those fish in a timely manner. Launches and boundaries. You're allowed to use any public water on Lake Lanier. Your launches will be all public boat ramps, all public ramps that are open to the public, and public access areas. On the Chestatee River, anglers are allowed to launch at the Lumpkin City Park and fish above or below. On the Chattahoochee River, anglers are allowed to launch at the Belton Bridge Park and fish above or below. Whatever you can navigate through there, you can't leave your kayak. Georgia licenses is what you have to fish this. I'll go over your times again. Launch at 6 a.m. You can use the check-in and out app on TourneyX. That's appreciated. It's not required. If you try to do that for us, it lets us know where you're launching in case you don't make it back. We can send someone out to find you. But if that's hanging up and won't work for you for whatever reason, just ignore it. close it out, and take off and just go fishing. You don't have to contact me. It's not something that you get penalized for, but we do appreciate it if you can do that for us. So, this weekend, you all know Lanier better than I do, but you must wear. There's a lot of boat traffic because it's a popular lake and a good lake, or we wouldn't be on it. Your PFD must be worn at all times. When you're launching before safe light, you got to have a 360 white light or your wraparound LED lights. And if you have a motor, you have to have a white 360 light and the green and black navigation lights. If you don't have navigation lights, you can still launch, but you can't use your motor until daylight. So you still have to have the white 360 light or the wraparound LEDs to be seen in the dark or not safe light, but you can't use your motor. You got to keep it stowed, and then once it's daylight, you can put your white light away and you can use your motor for the rest of the day. We do use visibility flags in a lot of our sport. It's not required, but it's highly suggested. And I've had those make a difference in me being seen. Doesn't matter if a boater should see me. The matter of fact is he did see me because of that flag, and I'm grateful for it. But suggested, not required. So again, this is event number 3 of 5. We look forward to you all coming out and meeting up with us at Atlanta Kayak Company afterwards, and taking home some good prizes from people like Seaguar, Dugout Bait and Tackle, Atlanta Kayak Company. We've got Yamamoto, Choke Baits, Bill Lewis, G-Sox rod tubes. Check those out when you come up to me in person or at the awards. Those things are pretty awesome. Like we throw a lot of umbrella rigs in the kayak world. Treble hook baits are a disaster behind you when they come unstowed. This rod tube I used on Del Hollow a lot, where I had crankbait, jerkbait, and a couple. I actually had 3 jerkbaits tied on, and kept every one of them stowed exactly where I needed it to be. I could turn it right back around, reach and grab my next one, put the rod tube back over it, and stow it away, and kept the treble hooks out of my back. So it works really, really good there. So we got tackle works, donkey leashes, and things like that. Again, this is your official briefing. Had spoken with Billy Smith. As I mentioned, Lanier's popular. There's boat tournaments, this time of year everywhere. So when you're rig your kayak at your truck, trailer, vehicle, rig it, back it down in the water, move it over to the side, get your vehicle out of the way, and then get in your kayak. You can launch before 6 a.m., but you have to stay a reasonable distance to the bank and boat ramp. But you can get where you're out of the way from the boat traffic. That way you're not blocking the ramp, or you're not, and getting yourself in danger by being in the way. So 10, 15, 20 feet, that's close to the ramp. Just don't drive around scanning or whatever. But again, you got to have your lights if you're going to do that. So, but Billy reached out. So a lot, as I was mentioning, these ramps have tournaments coming in and out of them. The ones that I saw, there were 2. I can't remember where they were, but they're not launching until 6:45. So you all will already have been launched and at your spots, hopefully, and fishing by then. So, but Billy Smith reached out, and he said that the Lanier Marina Buford City ramp is a public ramp, but the hours are from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. So he spoke to a gentleman, and they will meet you all at that ramp at 6 a.m. And let you in. They're only going to be there for a short while. They'll let you in, and then they're going to close the gate back, and then they'll reopen it at 7 a.m. The gentleman there is Clyde Black, and his phone number is 770-945-6761 if you have any questions. So again, the Lanier Marina Buford City ramp, if you want to launch from there, you need to be there at 6 a.m. If you get there at 5:30, I'm sure they're not going to be there then, but they'll be there at 6 a.m. to let you in. So you won't be able to launch as quickly, but if that's where you're wanting to fish, it's worth sticking around for that. So if you got any questions, reach out to me. Again, if you got any people wanting to get involved, reach out to me, and we'll get you joined up with Georgia Bass Nation Kayak Series and get you in our state championship and help you get your chance to walk across the Bassmaster Classic stage. So thank all of you. Appreciate all that you do to get this series growing. This is year number 2 of the trail series we've had, and so far this year has been really good. Our sponsors do pay attention to what you all do on social media, so when you tag them, they see it eventually. You may not often hear about it, but through the conversations that I have, they have brought it up several times. And that goes good and bad. You know, they see the bad stuff that goes on in our sport too, and so make sure that you're carrying yourself the way that you need to, because they pay attention, and they also see the value and the return that you all are to them as not only consumers but ambassadors and promoters of their products and stuff. So thank all of you for doing that. We've got a Georgia Bass Nation Kayaks page. Website. If you don't mind, look that up. It's www.G.A.B.A.S.S. Georgia Bass Nation Kayak Series, GA Banks. Look that up if you don't mind. The Angler of the Year stuff will be updated. It'll be on there. That's going to be uploaded with pictures from each event, and from there you'll have the Angler of the Year standing, Carl Black Chevrolet, and each of our sponsors. You'll have a link to follow them and purchase products. So appreciate all of you. Have a good weekend and a safe one, and we'll see you all on Lake Lanier.